When money's on the line, it's easy to get swept up in fear during downturns, or euphoria and greed during booms. A stoic-minded investor or saver will step back and say, all right, I'm feeling scared, excited, but let me examine the situation logically. They might journal about what they're feeling. Stoics loved journaling daily to analyze their thoughts, or consult a predetermined plan. The idea is to prevent knee-jerk reactions. For example, if prices are plummeting, instead of, oh no, I must sell right now, a Stoic might think, markets go up and down. I planned for this. What's the wise action here? By doing this, you become the master of money, not its slave. Money isn't pushing your buttons. You're pushing the buttons based on reason. Overcoming fear of loss. Stoic courage and preparedness. Fear of financial loss is one of the strongest emotions that can control us. It might be fear of losing your job, fear of an investment failing, or just general fear of being poor. The Stoics have a counterintuitive but powerful way to tackle this. Confront the fear head on in your mind and in practice. This is where Stoic exercises like negative visualization and practicing poverty come in. Negative visualization means deliberately imagining worst-case scenarios in a controlled way. Far from being pessimistic, this actually builds psychological resilience. So you might sit down and imagine, what if I did lose my job? How would I cope? What if I had to live on half my income? What would I cut out? Would I really be miserable, or could I handle it? By visualizing these possibilities, you prepare yourself. If they ever happen, you're not blindsided. In fact, you've already semi-experienced them and figured out you could find a way through. This lessens the fear of the unknown. It also has a side benefit. It makes you appreciate what you have more. When you imagine losing something, you value it more and complain less about it. Seneca took this a step further with an exercise often called practicing poverty or practicing misfortune. He advised, set aside a certain number of days each month to live as if you have very little. Eat the cheapest foods, wear your oldest clothes, sleep on the floor if needed. Then ask yourself, is this what I used to dread? This practice does two things. 1. It proves to you that you can be okay with minimal comforts, that losing luxuries or money isn't the end of the world. And 2. It shatters the fear of poverty because you realize much of that fear is in your mind. If you spend a couple days living rough, when you know it's temporary and you can return to normal life after, you build confidence that if you had to tighten your belt in real life, you could endure it. When you no longer fear losing it all, you're free to make bold but rational financial decisions. You won't be paralyzed by what if everything goes wrong. You've already started that what if in the face. Stoic courage in finance also means understanding that some losses are inevitable. Investments will dip. Businesses have off years. Accepting this as part of the game of wealth frees you from constant worry. Prepare the best you can through research, diversification, savings buffers, things in your control, and then acknowledge that beyond that, fate will play its part. As the Stoics would say, do your best and let fate do the rest. When you've mentally prepared for the worst, you can then optimistically work for the best without anxiety chewing at you. It's a much more pleasant and effective way to manage money. Rising above greed and social pressure. On the flip side of fear is greed, the desire for more, 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 and the pressure we feel to keep up with others' wealth or lifestyles. Stoicism has a lot to say about this too. The Stoics were big on moderation and contentment. They believed that wealth is not about having unlimited money, but about being content with what you have. There's a famous Stoic quote from Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Think about that. If you want less, you automatically feel rich because you're satisfied. If you want more and more, you could have $1 million and still feel poor. Modern psychology agrees. Beyond a certain point, more income doesn't significantly increase happiness. So chasing money endlessly is like a dog chasing its tail. They weren't wealthy, but they consistently set aside a portion of every check for a rainy day and talked about goals like saving for vacations or retirement. Now fast forward to adulthood. Alex finds money slips through his fingers. The moment he gets paid, he has an urge to spend, upgrading his phone, eating at nice restaurants, buying gifts for people, and often ends up short by the next payday. Saving feels impossible to him, almost like money is meant to be spent immediately. Jordan, meanwhile, automatically funnels 15% of her income to a savings account and contributes to her retirement fund. She doesn't really feel the pain of these savings. It's just what she's used to doing. These two are a classic example of how mental conditioning from early life guides adult behavior. Alex's brain was wired with a scarcity mindset and a view that money is here to enjoy now, because who knows about tomorrow. Jordan's brain was wired for planning and security. Once Alex realized his upbringing was holding him back, especially after seeing how differently Jordan handled money, he decided to change his script. He set up tiny automatic transfers to savings, and when he saw the balance grow, his brain actually got a little dopamine hit from saving. That positive feedback started rewriting his old script. Alex's story shows that recognizing your money programming is the first step to changing it. All these examples highlight the battle between our brain's instincts and our better financial judgment. And importantly, they show that with awareness and small changes, you can help the right side win. Actionable takeaways. Rewire your brain for wealth. The brain is malleable. It can learn and change, a concept called neuroplasticity. So, you're not stuck with bad money habits or fears forever. Here are some powerful yet practical ways to retrain your brain and set yourself up for financial freedom. 1. Practice delayed gratification with weight. Rules. If you see something you want to buy on impulse, impose a waiting period on yourself. For small purchases, make yourself wait 24 hours. For bigger ones, try 30 days. This is you practicing the marshmallow test in real life. Often you'll find that after the cooling off period, the urge to buy has faded or you realize you don't need it. If you still strongly want it, at least you're buying it with a cool head. This trains your brain that not buying immediately is fine. Nothing bad happens if we wait. Over time, those dopamine-fueled impulse signals get weaker as your brain learns you call the shots, not the sale or the shiny object. 2. Gamify your saving habits. Make saving money a game to engage that reward-loving part of your brain. For example, challenge yourself to save an extra $10 a week and track it. Use a savings app or even a simple chart to visualize your progress. When you hit a milestone, give yourself a small reward or treat, something fun but inexpensive. By doing this, you're giving your brain mini rewards associated with saving, not just spending. Make it a challenge, maybe a no-spend streak, to see how many days you can go without a non-essential purchase. The point is to make saving, investing, feel as exciting as spending. 3. Automate good decisions. Our brains like the path of least resistance. You can use this to your advantage by automating your finances. Set up an automatic transfer to a savings account or retirement fund each payday before you have a chance to spend that money. This way, your rational brain makes the decision once when you set up the automation, and your impulsive brain doesn't get a chance to intervene each time with, "But I could use that money to buy." It's gone to savings before you notice. Over time, you won't even miss that money because you'll adapt to spending a bit less.